Yeah, no, don't just walk into that. There should be a way to trip it, though.
Backfirewall is a very casual game mechanically, and an incredibly strong game narratively. You play as Elizabeth, the update assistant for a newer, better phone OS, OS 10. However, if you update the system, you and OS 9, the current operating system, will both be deleted permanently. There were a whole lot of laughs right from the start, and around the midpoint of the game, the reality of what you're doing, that is, preventing an update to the OS, starts to have some really dark consequences for the citizens of the phone's system. This game was much more of an emotional roller coaster than I expected it to be, but I really loved the ride. As you would expect from a casual game, the mechanics and controls are simple and effective. You move around with WASD, jump with the spacebar, interact with the environment using E or left mouse button, and you get a few special cheat codes, like deleting items or duplicating them, that go on your number keys. The game is designed such that you can't break it by accidentally deleting something essential, which vibes perfectly with the casual style it's going for. Platforming is not the mainstay of the game, nor is stealth, but there is a little bit of both sprinkled in throughout. Puzzle solving, on the other hand, is the main element of the game. I wouldn't call this one particularly challenging though, which I weirdly didn't mind. The game played to its comedy strength with a little bit of hand-holding, and even though looking back on it, it's very linear and you are, well, pretty handheld through a lot of it, it never really felt restrictive in doing so. It feels more like the game itself is helping you, the way a friend with more experience would do in a co-op, when it's not holding your hand, which it doesn't for the puzzle elements themselves. The biggest challenge I had was finding a path to an objective. The puzzle wasn't hard. I knew what I needed to do, but I couldn't figure out how to get to the lever I needed to pull, so to speak. Still, that wasn't very often, and whenever you do get stuck, there's a very friendly little rubber ducky who will give you extra hints. Visually, the game has a bright and colorful style that really made me want to watch the old reboot animated series again. I know I'm dating myself a little, I don't care. It's a good series. Everyone should watch it. The strange little computer elements, such as processes or certain applications, are personified into unusual and charmingly shaped humanoid figures that almost makes the game look like it's meant for small kids. And if I had any little ones, I would definitely be okay with playing it with them, but I wouldn't want them playing it alone for the first run due to the heavier nature of the in-game elements. There is also a small amount of strong language. Musically, I loved the techno and electronic beats that I got, and really would have liked to have more of them throughout the game. There's a level set in a nightclub, and you can switch the track you're listening to as part of navigating. I was dancing in my seat for that section. There's a little music peppered throughout the rest of the game, but the background sounds are a more dominant feature, which is not a bad thing in and of itself. The game wasn't too quiet or loud, and I think they really found a sweet spot in balancing the somewhat cartoonish, digital, and industrial background sounds. The VAs in this game were absolutely stellar. That is not a compliment I hand out often or lightly, and their variety really made it a pleasure to listen to them. Not all of the NPCs have a VA, and they do make a point of discussing that briefly in-game, which sort of taps on the fourth wall, but never really breaks it. Clocking in at about 5 hours of game time, and with more than one ending, Backfirewall definitely has some good replayability for any completist gamers out there. There are bugs and toys to collect, and a secondary narrative you pick up through finding conversation pieces between the user and her friends and family. That one also tugged on my heartstrings a bit, but you're not going to get any spoilers from me. All in all, Backfirewall is a quirky take on the world of a phone's software and hardware with a colorful cast of characters. I loved the humor, and I even ended up loving the way it pulled on my heartstrings. I don't normally like that in a game, but they pulled it off. I really can't recommend this game highly enough, and it has absolutely earned a golden genie lamp in my opinion. I will definitely be playing this one again.
If you're still alive, please gather at safety. Podcast? I don't want to die.